Jens Stoltenberg is the former Prime Minister of Norway, a one-time peace activist who protested outside the US Embassy in Oslo against the Vietnam War. He now leads the most powerful military alliance in the world. He took up his post as Secretary-General on October the 1st. To discuss some of the challenges he faces, I'm now joined by Secretary-General Stoltenberg at NATO headquarters here in Brussels. Many thanks for being with us, Mr Stoltenberg.
Thank you.
What's your big strategic vision for the next 5 years for this organisation?
Is to keep NATO strong and at the same time to keep our neighborhood stable together with our partners. And to be able to do that, we need to keep the bond between Europe and North America rock solid. And we had a big summit in NATO in the beginning of September, and there we made many decisions which are just related to how we can keep NATO strong. And we decided, for instance, to implement a readiness action plan, which is a plan which aims at making our forces more ready, more prepared, and to increase our military capabilities.
One of the big issues, of course, as always with this organisation, is defence spending, particularly amongst European members of this club. What would you tell European citizens who are so worried in this time of austerity that having cuts made to welfare, education, and that they have to spend yet more on defence?
I will start by saying that I understand that this is a difficult decision and difficult choice, but at the same time I think that we have to follow up when we agreed just some few weeks ago, all the heads of state and government, that now the time has come to at least stop cutting defence spending and gradually start to increase them during the next decade. Because what we have seen is that Europe has and NATO has cut its spending on defence substantially during the last years, while other countries around us and Russia has increased a lot. So therefore the time has come to reverse that trend.
Let's talk about the relationship with Russia. When you were the Norwegian Prime Minister, you're said to have had a very good relationship with Vladimir Putin. He said in an interview last spring that you even had a personal relationship. How would you describe your relationship with the Russian president?
Norway and Russia has for many years worked together on many different issues. And so I have developed a working relationship to Russian leaders.
When was the last time you spoke to Mr. Putin?
I can't remember exact, but we had a phone call for when I was Prime Minister, and then we met on several occasions, of course, when I was Prime Minister. I resigned as Prime Minister a year ago, so at least it's more than a year ago. But the whole idea is that the relationship Norway have had with Russia has been founded on military strength and our membership in the NATO alliance. So there is no contradiction between being in favor of military strength, a firm, predictable policy, and at the same time being in favor of a more constructive relationship with Russia.
So what needs to happen? What needs to happen next for that relationship to be restored? The conditions?
Russia has to change their actions, and they have to act in compliance with international law. They have to act in compliance with their international obligations. And that's something we need to be able to establish a more cooperative relationship in the future.
Let's move on to talk about the threat posed by ISIL. They're very close to the Turkish border. What more could NATO do to tackle this threat? Because it seems that the alliance is taking a back seat at the moment.
Well, first of all, the main responsibility, the core responsibility for NATO is to protect all allies. And we have deployed Patriot missiles in Turkey to be able to protect Turkey against any, or to help them to protect themselves against any spillover from the violence, the fighting we have seen in Syria and now also are seeing in Iraq. And we of course stand by that. In addition, we agreed at our summit in Wales that we stand ready to assist, to help Iraq, enhancing, improving their ability, their security forces, to make them more able to defend themselves. And in addition to that, we also cooperate when it comes to foreign fighters coming home, exchange of information, so we are more able to avoid that that's posing a threat when it comes to the risk of terrorist attacks in our own countries.
I'm interested that you mentioned the issue of foreign fighters. You, of course, captured hearts and minds around the world with your dignified response to the Breivik massacre just 3 years ago. You said in Oslo that the correct response is more openness, more democracy. So how is that different for tackling these foreign fighters? Is that the same strategy we should use?
It's fundamental that we defend our ideas, because it's the open society, it is the democratic society they are attacking. So at least what we shall do every time we are threatened by terrorists is to defend the core values of our societies, the open democratic societies. But of course, in addition, we need police cooperation, we need intelligence cooperation, we need to defend ourselves. And this is something NATO is working on, but of course when it comes to counter-terrorist activities, it's not only a military issue, it's also very much police and intelligence. So there are many different services in our countries who are working together to be able to fight terrorists and also the risks which are linked to the homecoming of foreign fighters.
My point is really that the West's anti-terror response up till now has been anything but democratic. It's been expanding the surveillance of individuals. Even in some countries you have detention without trial. Is that the strategy we should really follow as Western allies?
We have to follow and to respect fundamentally human rights and international law, but at the same time I think everyone understands that we need police, we need intelligence, we need security services to be able to protect ourselves against terrorists. And I can see no contradiction between using those means to protect an open society and at the same time being in favor of open society, because that's actually the way we are able to protect our democratic open societies.
Just my final question. Why do you think Europeans are going to fight for ISIL? Why is it so attractive to these people?
I think it's very, very hard to understand that someone are willing to go and fight for an organization which is so barbaric, which are responsible for so many atrocities, and it just underlines how serious we have to take the threat from ISIL. And therefore I also welcome the military operations which the United States, other NATO allies and regional partners now are undertaking to fight the ISIL.
Could that not be a recruitment tool for ISIL with many dead civilians?
But we have to fight it, and that's what the United States and other allies and regional partners now are doing, and I welcome that.
Secretary General Stoltenberg, thank you very much.